Well, stocks struggle to hold on to those big early gains, and it's a pattern of selling in and close. We saw it was repeated again, but only the Dow, in fact, was able to close at a new high. Still, nevertheless, the market breadth overall was positive. You had almost 1,800 advancers on the New York Stock Exchange, 1,163 decliners, and your up volume, 2.3 billion shares, only 900 million to the downside. So that underpinning is feeling better. Now, overall, the biggest sign of confidence this week is the action in safe haven stocks, right? The S&P utility sector, the XLU, down again today, down almost 5% in 4 days. The sector was up huge this year, but investors are growing confident in the broad market, and they believe that it will outperform and they don't have to hold on to these yields of the utilities. Now, much of that confidence comes from a string of economic data that doesn't suggest that the United States is leading a global economic rebound, and in fact, it's gaining momentum. This morning, we had leading economic indicators. One of the key tools, by the way, for Alan Greenspan, it's a combination of 10 recent economic reports, and it helps to inform the direction of the overall economy. And on that note, the director of the Conference Board said November gains signals that solid economic growth could continue into the first half of 2018. There was also strong data from the Philadelphia Fed manufacturing report, came in significantly above consensus. That powered by an increase in new orders and shipments. 41% of companies say they saw an increase in activity, up from 35% in November. And then there's the action in the S&P energy sector. XLE up 4.5% for the week, 4 days so far. I continue to pound the table that you must have an oversized exposure, in my mind, to crude oil, particularly Permian Basin stocks. One of my favorite names, by the way, Concho Resources. And that stock rallied today. It was downgraded before the opening bell, still finished higher. Base metals act really great, particularly copper up almost 7% since December 5th, nearing the high point of the year. And it's usually a proxy for China, which, by the way, keep in mind, they're going to have to ramp up their economy to keep up with America. If they want to ultimately catch us, they're going to have to grow at rates that they haven't grown in a couple of years. Now, one of the big tells this week in the market is the action in Caterpillar. It's a name every one of you probably should own. I've talked about it enough the last couple of years. All my subscribers own it. It got a downgrade at the start of the week. It powered higher that day, and it continues to go up. And right now, today, it got a new target of 160. Industrials, metals, they don't have pizzazz, right? They're never going to get the love or the Wall Street hype. But these are the dirty fingernail sectors that will indeed continue to power our economy in 2018. Speaking of hype, Bitcoin and blockchain mania may have hit a near-term peak today as Long Island Iced Tea changed its name overnight to Long Blockchain Company, and at one point the shares were up well over 300%. Now, this is sort of like back in the days when a company could slap .com on its letterhead and the stock would go through the roof. Long Island Iced Tea news might have curbed some enthusiasm in this Bitcoin area because these stocks sold off big time today. Riot Blockchain was down 24%, traded 12 million shares. Longfin down 33%. And this is why last night we heard Patrick Byrne, who's an early adopter of Bitcoin and blockchain, advocate for more government regulations. There's a fortune in my mind in cryptocurrencies, but there's also a lot of fool's gold, so people must be very careful right now. And speaking of economic proxies, after the close, Cintas posted a very strong revenue and earnings beat, also guided higher. I love this stock for buy and hold investors. Nike also reported their results. This didn't really move the needle. And again, don't forget, there was late breaking news that Eric Schmidt is stepping down from his role as chairman at Alphabet Google, but he's going to serve as an advisor, and he will remain on the board of directors.